Titan Souls is an indie game that came out April 14th of 2015. You can play it today on PC, PS4, and PS Vita. Now, this game is one that I picked up way back then, well, 4 years ago, and really enjoyed at the time, and I played that on my PC. However, times have come and gone. A lot of different indie games have been arriving and filling my heart with joy, and so I thought I would take a look at this, playing it on the PS4 this time, and really see how much do I still love this game? What kind of score am I able to give each section of the game, and what are my overall thoughts on it? So I decided to play it and give those thoughts right back to you guys. We're going to go over the simplicity of this game. We're going to go over the world, bosses, and different modifiers you can use while playing the game. Then we'll give this a final score, and we'll see where it ranks overall on the RedWolf player game list. In games these days, you see giant open worlds with a million things to do. Even in 2015, we had games like Fallout 4, Assassin's Creed Rogue, and The Witcher 3. However, this game, released the same year, took a different tactic, which you do see indie games doing quite a bit. Instead, this game has some simple rules. You have one arrow, you shoot it, you have to retrieve it, and you have 1 health. Now, the nice thing about you having 1 health, the bosses do as well. The only main difference is that finding the boss's weak spot is a lot harder for you than finding your weak spot is for them. Because of this, all the simplicity, which I really do like, especially in these smaller indie games, we're going to give this category 64 points. The world in Titan Souls is definitely a great example of pixel art. Looking through every section of the map is really a pleasure, from the overworld areas to even the boss rooms themselves. However, while exploring this beautiful world, there was a small glitch that I found. Every time I died and loaded a save, I would immediately roll out of that save spot. Then I wouldn't be able to run or roll afterwards. This did fix itself on the next to last boss, but a solid chunk of the middle of the game was definitely missing for me, and so that made those fights a lot harder. It was a fun challenge, but it was unexpected and not something I was trying to accomplish. So I'm going to give this beautiful but a little glitchy world 35 points. The main gameplay loop here is the bosses. You have to go to them, find their weakness, and hit it with your arrow. For how easy it sounds, I mean, if you've played a video game before, you're going to know that it's not. Each boss has their own challenge, their own pattern, their own movements, and because of this, some of them are going to be a lot harder than others. Now, the different ranges in difficulty is exciting, but it is frustrating to be stuck on a boss where you know how to beat it, you see that weak spot, but the boss just has moves that are a little too fast for you to deal with, and so it takes a lot longer to beat that boss. For me, this was definitely seen in the Yeti boss fight, and it ended up being pretty frustrating for me. However, the bosses are great overall, and we're going to give them 47 points. Something we've been seeing more and more in games these days is modifiers. And this is something I think Titan Souls does very, very well, actually. You can do runs in this game with no rolls. You can do hard mode. You can even do an Iron Man mode where you get 1 shot. You die once and the entire game is over for you. There is a last secret mode where you get a bonus, quote unquote true final boss. I don't want to spoil too much about that. It's a pretty cool thing. I definitely recommend trying to check it out. And so because of that, we're going to give modifiers 40 points. Alright, so today we have talked about the game Titan Souls. We talked about simplicity in the game, gave it 64 points. We talked about the world that this game is in and gave it 35 points. We talked about those fun and frustrating bosses, gave them 47 points overall. Last, we talked about the modifiers in the game and gave those 40 points. Now total, that means we're ranking this game at 186, and that puts it smack dab between Overwatch and Super Mario 3D World. Overall, I really did love this game. Playing indie games can be a little difficult sometimes for me when I'm trying to give them scores because there's not as many points I can shove in there. There's less categories I can do, and really because of their size, there's less points I can kind of assign to that, but don't be fooled by its lower point count. This truly is an amazing game, and I really do recommend that you pick this up and play it.